Hey, this is Brant Bjork, and you're watching DaBelly. Right on.
Hi, this is Dave from DaBelly. Tonight we're going to talk to Brant Bjork. Welcome to Mesa, Arizona. Actually, we're in Tempe. Yeah, same thing, whatever.
Yeah, I always get confused. There's, I don't know, the Mesa or Tempe or Phoenix. I don't know.
It's Arizona.
We're in Arizona, yeah.
There it is, Arizona. Close enough. Congratulations on your latest record, Tower of the Devil. I'd like to hear a little bit about it.
Well, it's the it's the new record, but to us it's already the old record.
Yeah.
But it's a record that we're content with. We had a good time making the record. We took our time and we really worked hard in the studio and outside of the studio, and didn't just settle for anything. We really stuck to our guns and kept working at it until we kind of landed upon something that we thought could represent the whole body of work.
So when you approach a new album with writing and so on, do you come in with an idea in mind, some destination that you're pursuing, or you just kind of let things happen?
Well, I've done both, and both produces the results that you sometimes would expect. But and it's fun to I like both ways. Sometimes I'll go in the studio and say, let's just see what we can come up with, and be surprised or not. And then sometimes I do like to have some kind of a foundation or a bit of a concept, if you will, at the very least, that I could build upon. And I'd say Tower of the Devil was, interestingly enough, I think Tower of the Devil was kind of a combination of the two. Yeah, we had a foundation, but we kept it nice and loose to see what just kind of naturally would be produced.
Yeah, sometimes those pleasant surprises, they astonish you. Something out of left field, it just kind of materializes, and it's kind of a great moment.
Yeah, I have a very loose theory that records just kind of, or I say great rock and roll records, just kind of make themselves.
Yeah, they certainly have a life of their own. I mean, you can look back over genre, it doesn't even matter, right? I mean, everybody's got their classic album in mind that they say this is the greatest thing ever, and I've attached my soul to it, and that's the greatest thing there is about music. Yeah,
absolutely.
So the album name Tower of the Devil, I know you're a Taoist. You spent 20 some years studying it. How much does your philosophy, your beliefs play into the music itself?
Well, as I was just saying, I mean, it's all about just finding a natural balance of things, and usually that balance will produce itself when you stop trying to mess around or control it, which is very difficult for control freak artists. But I'm interested in Taoism. I don't know if that I'd go so far as to call myself one. I mean, with respect to people who are actually dedicated to the art of living that spiritual philosophy. But it is something that I've been intrigued with for many years. And again, the title was just not something I was really thinking about. Again, it just kind of popped out one day.
This is your second album with the band. You've done a lot of solo work. You've done a lot of work with bands. Where do you find your biggest appreciation for music? Is it working by yourself? Is it with a band?
There's something really satisfying indulging in the creative process on your own, because you're not having to answer to anybody but yourself. But
sometimes that's the hardest.
But I think I can honestly say I really, after all these years being a solo artist and being a member of a band, I think I started out as a member of a band. I had no intention of becoming a solo artist. That just kind of naturally happened.
Yeah.
And I've kind of taken my solo career and injected myself back into the band format, because I do believe, four souls are better than one. So we're kind of just, yeah, it's a band, and we collaborate, and we bounce off each other, and I think that's what a band is all about.
I agree. That's a beautiful thing. You do have a solo album that's been kind of lurking for 4 or 5 years. Is there any news on that release for that yet? Jacuzzi?
Yeah, Jacuzzi. God, that record haunts me. I keep talking about it, and sometimes I think the more I talk about it, the more it runs away. But I have it just sitting there on the shelf, and I just have to get that thing out. And but it's hard for me because I'm so excited to continue creativity and create music. It's tough for me to go back, and because sometimes it's easier said than done to put out a record. So but with respect to the Jacuzzi record, my manager and I are doing our best to try and figure out if we could just get this thing out, So I promise someday it'll come out.
Well, if you're the one slowing it down, maybe it's just not ready yet.
It is what it is. It's like there's not much I could do to it. It's an instrumental record, and it's pretty loose. But I think the reason why I mentioned it is because I think it deserves its own creative title and its own release, and I think my fans would probably appreciate it. Maybe not all of them, but I think some of them would for sure.
So Dow the Devil has been out now for about 6 or 8 months, and you've been touring around. Are you satisfied with the success of the record and your exploits here on the road, kind of enjoying Arizona and all the other great places you've been?
Yeah, well, I'm very grateful to have a life in music. I mean, I was a young kid who was a fan of rock and roll, and I just, wanted to play and contribute, and I just kept at it, never stopped, So if I can put out a record and go tour and have people show up and enjoy what I do, that's I can't complain,
That's a beautiful thing. You're kind of living the dream of a lot of people.
Yeah. It ain't easy though, I'll tell you that.
It is a challenge. Yes, I see this. Yes. Well, what else do you have going on for the rest of the year now? Any more touring?
Yeah, we got tonight here in Mesa. We play Los Angeles tomorrow night, take a night off, and then Wednesday night we fly down to Australia and do 2 weeks in Australia, a couple shows in New Zealand, and then we'll take a couple, or about a month off, and then we'll get ready to go back to Europe. Yeah.
Go play some of the festivals?
Yeah, summer festivals.
Perfect stuff. Well, I want to appreciate your time today. Is there anything I missed? Anything else you want to talk about?
You're the boss.
You heard him. You heard me. All right. Thank you much for your time.